Hello, thank you for downloading and watching this video tutorial on how to use a pacing guide for your summer school cyber course curriculum. If you're enrolled in a history, social studies, rela, or English course for our summer school program, you will be completing a condensed version of the year-long course. Now, to show you how to do that so that you have an idea of if you're on track or not, or if you're too far behind or too far ahead in your progress, I'll be showing you today how to use your pacing guide that your teacher may have already emailed you. So let's take a look at my student demonstration account first. I have myself all set up to log in here, so I'm going to head on in and situate this out of the way here, just like that. I'm going to head over to my subject that I'm going to be demonstrating today, social studies. And you'll see that I enrolled myself in the Summer School History 7 Social Studies course. And you'll see there's a series of folders inside this first level of the course. Take a look at Civilizations of Islam. Inside here are two subfolders. Each subfolder contains a series of activities to complete. Look at African Civilization, the next one. And there are two subfolders inside of African Civilization. This folder, West African Civilization, has a series of activities, and Effects of the Caravan Trade has its share of activities for the student to complete also. For some, this layout will be just fine for students to navigate through. However, others might have a concern if they are too far ahead, too far behind, or right on track to finish in time before the summer school deadline. To help with those feelings for our cyber school students, and so that they can pace themselves with the help of their coach, we've developed a pacing guide. I'll bring that right up here. And you can see there are two tabs at the bottom of the pacing guide here that I'm going to be discussing today with you. One is called a Textual Pacing Guide, and the other one is a Curriculum Pacing Guide. The Curriculum Pacing Guide delineates all of the folders and assignments and activities for the student to complete in the entire course. These types of activities include lessons, known as learning activities, and chapter tests. They also delineate quizzes that the student might have to complete, as well as activities in here known as Odyssey Writer writing activities, and those will come up through the course as well, like we see down here. Now, a student can very easily check off the completion date for each of the activities in one of the available columns on the Excel spreadsheet. However, that might not necessarily clearly explain where the student is in the course in accordance to what date it is and how many more days out they have until the summer school deadline. So to help with this, the yellow tab on the worksheet auto-calculates out the dates depending on the student's needs. For example, if the student were fortunate enough to start on the 5th of July and end on the 12th of August, the number of assessments that are recorded on this page totals 16, and the average days between assessments to complete the completion goal date is about 2.4. We usually don't describe days with tenths value on them. However, just keep in mind this is a mathematical equation that's calculating here, and it's doing the best job that it can. So, for example, this particular student who started on the 5th, calculated out to end on the 12th, has about 38 days to complete the entire course, divided by the number of assessments here that's listed is 16, and that gives on average 2.4 days between every assignment. Now the first assignment I automatically spread out here so that it would make itself due 3 days out from the start date. However, off of that start date, the computer, or the spreadsheet in this case, calculates 2.4 days until we get to the end of the course, reaching the August 12th date. Now, let's say that this particular student started on the 14th. Perhaps they were on a vacation, or their internet was down and they weren't able to receive communication from their teacher. Once I change the date in the field and hit enter, you will notice that all of these dates and numbers, except for the number of total assessments, obviously that has to stay the same. Everything else will recalculate. Here we go, let's try it. Just like that. Now we see the difference of dates between the start and the finish is 29. Still, we have 16 things to submit to our teacher, and the average days between each course, or between each assessment, is 1.8. We still start 3 days out from the start date, which is the 14th, so that puts us on the 17th for this example. And then roughly 1.8 days in computer language, computer speak, it calculates us out close to our completion date. And I use the word close to because all of these dates are not firm. These are simply approximations for the cyber student to use, just so that they have an idea if they're on track to finish by the completion date. Now obviously, the cyber student has a flexibility of acceleration if they're submitting their assignments on time and they're scoring the correct grades needed to pass. So let's say that this particular student is a very goal-driven student and wants to try and finish by the 1st of August to have even more of their summer to do their other activities instead of being stuck doing history. So let's enter that data in here, and we'll see that the dates recalculate themselves, and now they help the student see what they need to get done on every day in between now and then to finish up on or around August 1st. Of course, remember, the Excel spreadsheet is calculating 1.1, so there might be a remainder or so in these dates. So again, they're used to be just to give you a reference or a guideline of where you are in the course and how much farther you have to go by the deadline that you establish. For many students, it's going to be pretty much the start of the program. Let's say the 12th, and we're going to finish up on the 13th. So if you take a look here, you'll see that the Excel spreadsheet, because of the calendar dates and how they fall, it was difficult to get 2 dates off of the 12th of August, so it had to project 2 days out on the 14th. That does not mean that you can have until the 14th because your spreadsheet said so. As a cyber student, you are responsible for remembering your deadlines. Okay, the computer is only good for so many things. We require humans to do many of our important thinking, such as remembering our deadlines. So please remember your deadline that has been communicated to you for the summer school program, regardless of what your pacing guide says, and just use this pacing guide only as a sheet to refer to give you an idea of if you are on track to finish in time or not. So, the last bit of information to keep in mind is when you use these pacing guides in front of every quiz and Odyssey Writer, there are learning activities and lessons running anywhere from 8 minutes to 15 minutes in length, depending on your answers. So, just because you see 16 things here, remember there's a lot more than 16 things in the entire course you have to complete for the summer school. Again, thanks for downloading this program, and I hope this tutorial has helped you understand a little bit more on how to use a pacing guide for your summer school cyber course.